Dr. Cindy here. Thanks for joining me with the Essential Therapies podcast. Today I'm just going to do a quick check-in and share with you some reflections I've been having over the last couple of weeks. It's officially been 1 year since my first podcast and also marks the 1-year anniversary of a significant injury that I had from a cycling accident, which I talked about in that first podcast. So if you haven't seen episode 1, I encourage you to go back and listen or watch that. But I wanted to share what has really come full circle for me a year later, and that is really the profound awareness that I now have at the benefit that the self-care I did, the self-treatment of myofascial release immediately after that accident, and then continuing every day for months actually with the focus on fixing my cranial bones and my neck and my shoulder and my total body. So as you know from following this podcast, I'm a John F. Barnes myofascial release specialist, and I've been doing this work for 28 years. And John has always shared at all of the seminars how important it is for us to do self-treatment. He encourages us at least 5 minutes a day, which I would say very much at least. I do way more self-treatment than that and have for many, many years. When I first started doing this work, there was no one near me that I could go see to get treated myself. And over a period of several months where I was getting trained and experiencing treatment and going elsewhere to be treated, etc., I found many techniques that I could do on my own, especially being a very a seasoned yoga practitioner and had gone to an integrative yoga therapy training, which was 15 days long. So we were 24/7, immersing ourselves into yoga training. And it was a very wonderful experience where I realized there are many aspects of that work that allowed me to tap into self-treatment and get myofascial release. So last year when I had my accident, I immediately started working on myself because I could feel what had happened and the trauma that had moved my cranial bones so significantly that my right front tooth was directly behind my left front tooth. So think about that. It was really, really significant. But I was able to stay calm and do this hands-on work nonstop. And actually, it was a blessing that I was then life flighted to the hospital and stayed overnight in the hospital because I was able to spend several hours during that first day and night working on myself, where I was able to get that bone into a really good place. But every day after that, especially the first 2 to 3 weeks, I would have significant difficulty opening my mouth in the morning. So imagine waking and then starting to do a yawn and having a severe pain and not able to open your mouth more than 1 finger width. Well, every morning I would do this series of techniques and listening to my body and feeling what it needed. And over several weeks, I was able to resume opening my mouth, then followed by intensive treatment at the John Barnes Clinic in Pennsylvania. I was able to really start seeing significant results. Now, fortunately, I was able to continue working after only a few days off immediately following that accident, which is really quite remarkable. And what I'd like to share is to really put out there how important it is to learn how to feel inside your own body. And so much of us are kind of outside of our bodies a lot. We are taught when we are very young, and I share this with my patients all the time, from the time we're in either preschool or kindergarten, we're encouraged to sit in a chair for long periods, not pay attention to our bodies, and there's an urge to do movement or to get a drink or go to the bathroom, and you can't go. You have to wait until it's okay. And so we learn from very young to ignore these signs and signals. And so as an MFR therapist, what we want to do is encourage you to feel inside your body again. Notice these subtle signs that the body is giving you so that you can treat these areas, give your body what it needs, and then not end up in a situation where you're having a lot of pain or problems which require even more treatment. So All of that being said, I want to point out something else that is absolutely key to my healing and everyone's healing, and that is our own personal belief, our belief that we can get well. I will tell you, when I was lying there on the ground and when I first came to and I realized what was going on and I was able to remain calm, the first thing that went through my mind was that I believed that I could move my cranial bones back with the skills that I had and my awareness and my persistence and visualization. So there's so much out there about this now when you look at the authors such as Dr. Bruce Lipton with The Biology of Belief, Joe Dispenza with his You Are the Placebo and his incredible story about his recovery from his back being fractured in a horrible accident also during a triathlon. Also other books such as The Magic of Believing, which has been around for many years, written in the 40s by Claude Bristol. There's also Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. So many different authors and just belief systems over millennia that teach us that we must believe and we can create and that the body follows the mind. And honestly, every time I was working on my cranial bones or the rest of my body, and especially during those first very critical hours, I just did not let my mind go to a place of worry or disbelief. And I have a blackboard in my kitchen, and I've had it up there for well over a year now. It's interesting. It was before this accident happened, written in chalk haphazardly. It says, your beliefs have more power than your reality. And if we can allow ourselves to be open-minded and create and believe, I truly think that is the key. And we can do all the amazing therapy that we have available to us, but if we don't believe that we can get well, we're not going to have the same results. And that is something I really help my patients see and feel and give them hope. I often see people who've been through so many different resources that haven't worked. Oftentimes I see people who've been through physical therapy for several times and they're actually worse, or people who've been through other types of treatments and even surgery, and they've lost hope. And if I get that sense that they just feel like nothing's going to help, as I educate and teach them what myofascial release is and what the fascia is and how that can change the body, and give them hope, give them something to visualize, seeing themselves doing what they would like to be able to do without pain and with improved movement and just joy, and to actually feel that joy, not worrying about how they're going to get there, but really experience and feel that and give them hope and a renewed sense of belief. It's amazing what that does for you. So if you don't know much about myofascial release or mindset, I encourage you to continue to seek it out. I have lots of recordings, interviews, and videos with John Barnes and others to help give you more education. And keep following, share with others, and look forward to seeing you here.